Alright, how's it going everyone? So this one started off as kind of a weird idea. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this, just a fair warning. It started as some silly art that I made of RADITZ, just biker RADITZ. I posted it on Twitter a while ago, and if you follow me on there, you've known about it for probably a few months by now. But this joke I made back in like March of this year or whatever, well, I made some art of it, and then some more art of it, and then I wrote a script for it. And I did a poll too, because I know this idea has been done to death by multiple different people. But it seemed like you guys were still interested. This is my version of a story where RADITZ survives. Not necessarily turning good, but surviving. And becoming part of the main cast. And there are going to be a ton of changes, not just with RADITZ either. And yeah, I did keep a lot of those jokes with RADITZ in here. So, biker RADITZ, who's also a party animal, that's going to be a thing. But in case you're not familiar with it, well, you're in for a surprise at least. Today, we're beginning my own distinct version of What If RADITZ Survived. Let's set a like goal of 4,000 likes. Once we hit that, it lets me know that you guys want to see another part to this, and I'll make it a full series. Anyways, let's begin. The entire story goes the same, up until the point when RADITZ and Goku are supposed to die. Goku's holding RADITZ back, as Piccolo aims the Makanko Sapa. The beam is launched, and at the last second, RADITZ is able to break free of his brother's grasp. But it's still a little bit too late. He moves to the side just a bit, and the beam still does hit him, leaving a devastating blow on the left side of his body. But also, the beam still hits Goku, hitting directly in center mass, landing a fatal blow. RADITZ falls over to the ground, with both him and Goku seemingly dying. Miraculously though, RADITZ survived, just barely. He's left there to bleed out, and he talks about how the Saiyans will get their revenge. Even RADITZ thinks he's not going to survive this. But he just passes out. And no one realizes that he's still alive, just barely hanging on. He fades in and out of consciousness. On his scouter, he hears chatter from Vegeta and Nappa. They don't even care about him. They only want to come here for the Dragon Balls. If RADITZ died, who cares? He also hears discussions amongst the Earthlings about what they're going to do next with the Saiyans arriving soon. RADITZ tries to wake up, but he can't stay awake. He's lost so much blood, he's barely hanging on. Once again, he fades out. Some point much later on, he fades back into consciousness. Naturally, as a Saiyan, he does have better healing than normal humans. It's not enough to fully heal this injury, but it at least stops him from dying. Not to mention, it's a beam attack, so the wound might even be partially cauterized. This combined together with his healing is just enough to stop the bleeding. But only barely. He still has a hole within him, and he's in a lot of pain. Also, he did still lose a lot of blood. But as he wakes up, he can make out two figures in front of him. Two bald guys. One of them he recognized from before, the one who he whipped with his tail into that house. The other, he doesn't really recognize. It's Krillin and Tenshinhan, and Krillin says he was right. RADITZ did live. Apparently, he never passed on to Otherworld. King Yama gave word to Kami, who told them to check it out. There's no way he could have slipped by. He was unmistakable. And Krillin and Tenshinhan see. He's still here, still hanging on. Ten sticks a finger out in front of him, charging a Dodonpa. He'll finish it off. It shouldn't be too hard to kill him in this state that he's in right now. RADITZ tries to talk, coughing up blood, but he's able to get some words through. He tells them to wait. Wait, what? He doesn't want them to kill him? Is he stupid? Of course they're gonna kill him. After what he did? They're lucky Piccolo wasn't here. If he were still around in this area and not training Gohan, he would have killed RADITZ without hesitation. But Ten is a little bit interested in what he has to say. He might have some valuable information about the Saiyans. And RADITZ can see the hesitation. Quickly, he tries to lift his arm up. He barely can, but he's able to grab his scouter, crushing it in his hands. He tries to prop himself up, barely being able to speak. He tells them. He swears, actually, he'll stay out of their way. Just leave him be. He can even get in his ship and leave. He's not going back to the Saiyans, not anymore. That's why he crushed his scouter. Well, he could go back to his ship, but then they remember. They found it over there and saw that Gohan broke it once he escaped, so RADITZ can't even leave. But Krillin butts in. How do they know that RADITZ is serious? Luckily, they weren't here for the battle, and they don't know how he tricked Goku during the fight, which would definitely make them a lot more suspicious. But they reluctantly do give him this one last chance to say something, just to see what he has in mind. He tells them he's half dead. If they wanted to kill him, they could. They would have done it already, but they do want to hear him out. That's why they're letting him talk. They can let him heal on his own if they're that worried. They don't have to heal him or give him a senzu bean or whatever, not that he even knows that exists. He says he's not going to be able to do anything. If they just leave him alone, he'll figure something out. He'll leave here. He's got a new perspective. He can't be here, but he can't go with the Saiyans either. But this doesn't have to be his deathbed. He tells them to sweeten the deal. He'll even tell them everything he knows about Vegeta and Nappa. Hell, Frieza and his army even too. He mentions, first of all, Vegeta and Nappa are coming for the Dragon Balls. He heard that over the scouter. And he tells them everything he can think of about their fighting style. He says they're too strong for these people to fight. He even kind of knows their power levels, or at least the range of them. Not that it matters to the humans because they have no idea what power levels are really. But Raditz gives an estimation of their comparison to them. He also mentions their tails. They're not weak spots like his tail or what Kakarot's tail was like. But if they went towards them in the battle, they could stop them from transforming into great apes, getting rid of one of their trump cards. And he also does mention Nappa's kind of an idiot, so maybe they can exploit that during battle. But that's all he can think of. He swears he's not going to join them again. But how do they know he won't just join the Saiyans when they come here? And he tells them simply, they can't know. He knows it'll be hard to convince them, but he's already given all this info. He crushed a scouter, getting rid of any connection. They think he's dead. The Saiyans don't know he's here, and they honestly don't care. He'll stay out of the fight completely. He can't face Vegeta and Nappa. And now that he crushed his scouter, they'll probably see it as an act of betrayal. The fact that he faked his own death. The Saiyans won't trust him anymore. But Krillin and Ten are still suspicious. They don't know what to do about him to make sure. Eventually, Piccolo comes back to the area. He dropped Gohan in the wilderness to start his training, but he also saw that Krillin and Ten were here. Kami also communicated with Piccolo telling him to go there. And he's appalled to see this. They tell Piccolo what happened, but he says they're idiots. They should have just killed him right away. Why did they even let him live? Why did they even hear him out? Piccolo confronts Raditz again, who's partially healing, but is still in agony. He can't believe his attack missed. Well, Raditz says if it makes him feel better, he didn't miss. He still landed a pretty gnarly hit. And Piccolo's a lot more untrusted. That's kind of his nature here, and he did see how Raditz tried to trick Goku during the fight, which he mentions to Krillin and Ten. He wants to kill Raditz right here and now, and Raditz can only think of one other way to actually stop this. He tells them to wait. He grabs onto his tail. Remember how he said you can get rid of a Saiyan's trump card by getting rid of their tail? Well, he tries, using all his might to pull his own tail off. It's painful. It puts him in even more agony. He barely has the strength to do it, but he just rips his tail clean off, tossing it aside, screaming in pain as he does so. There, no Great Ape, no trump card. He says it won't grow back either if it isn't properly healed, which doesn't seem like he will be properly healed. He doesn't have those healing pods that they have in space. And if it does grow back, he'll cut it off again. He doesn't care. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He just wants to convince them. And Piccolo also hesitates too. You know what? Maybe it would be better if Raditz was on their side. Apparently, the Saiyans don't care that Raditz died, and they don't know that he's actually still alive. He crushed his scouter, ripped off his tail, and he cut all his ties to the other Saiyans. He gave himself a handicap, and he's now alone. Maybe he is serious. Raditz tells them he doesn't care about fighting them anymore. He doesn't want to kill them. He just wants to prove the other two wrong, if anything. Well, that's not his time right now. He's gonna have to wait to do that, and he tells the Earthlings and Piccolo too. They're gonna have to wait as well. The Saiyans are too powerful. He'll stay on his own, but if they do want him to join in the battle, he will. Remember, the Saiyans are probably gonna kill him when they get here anyways and find out he's alive. He might as well join in a fight against them. But he knows that these guys probably won't trust him. Piccolo has an idea. They try and help Raditz heal. They don't give him a Senzu because they don't want him to heal right away, and they don't want him to heal properly. To see if they could really trust him, even though it's a bit cruel, they're just gonna let him heal in a normal way. They can't risk giving him Senzu and having him back to full health right away. But they do help out, stopping the bleeding. What little is left anyways. They're surprised he even survived that. And Piccolo tells Raditz he's stronger than any of them. And Piccolo wants to train with him, at least once this handicap is gone. And Raditz is surprised to hear this. His smooth talking actually worked. But he wasn't lying either. He was dead serious. And Piccolo reminds Raditz he still has this handicap. And if he senses any sign of betrayal, Piccolo won't hesitate to kill him. Raditz knows he's capable of it. Although, Piccolo completely forgot. He has to be around Gohan. There's no way Gohan's gonna be able to train with Raditz nearby. That'll just distract him. Although, it could make his rage boost more apparent. If he sees Raditz again, maybe Piccolo can get to the bottom of his rage boost and where they come from. This would act as a trigger of sorts. But it's probably better to not bring Raditz there physically. He'll just mention it to Gohan. But Raditz says he was gonna stay on his own anyways. He doesn't need to train with Piccolo. He knows they can't trust him, so it's better if he just goes off on his own doing his own thing. They come to an agreement, and Piccolo leaves, with the humans leaving as well. Raditz is barely able to stand up, and he watches on as the Namekian flies away. What the hell did he just get himself into? Okay, now Raditz is in a weird situation. What is he supposed to do now? He's just here in the middle of nowhere. Well, first he should probably build some shelter. He's able to stand now and at least walk around a bit. For a few days and nights, he sleeps in a space pod, even though it's broken. But over some time, he's able to gather materials from a nearby forest and such, building his own shelter, which eventually turns into an entire house. He needs to stay secluded, and this is the perfect area. He even has a good piece of leveled ground thanks to the space pod. He trains on his own. growing stronger each day and also healing more and more. He's worried about the spot where Piccolo's attack landed. It could be a weak point for him, but also could be a source of strength. He's gonna get a power boost once he fully heals, although it's gonna still take a while. But he's really bored. He's off on his own. All he can do is train and build a house, but once he's done with those things, what does he do in his downtime? Well, he stumbles his way into a city. It seems they have bars here on Earth too. Awesome. Raditz could use a drink. Raditz eventually starts hanging out in the city more and more, learning more about Earthling life, and mostly enjoying the bar scene. He picks up on a few new hobbies too. He has a lot of free time at his hands, and it's not just gonna be training. He does have to take it a bit easy because he can't keep training all the time or else that wound's gonna just reopen. But he finds some cool stuff. He sees these awesome contraptions called motorcycles. And just for fun, he steals one. It's not hard when you can lift them with ease and just fly away with it. Raditz is actually starting to have fun here on Earth. He continues healing, continues growing stronger, and gets more custom with Earth culture. And at some point, he does have to get rid of his outfit because it's all torn up, and it looks gross for him to come into the bar and the city with just the same outfit every single time. So he gets a new getup, inspired by all those bikers that he sees and hangs out with. Thankfully, he does look somewhat human, so he blends in, and that cool scar that he has, well, he doesn't want to alarm anyone. So he comes up with stories about how he got the scar, including one on his shoulder too that he got from Gohan. He blends in more and more with the humans, and he's actually enjoying himself. Maybe this was the right choice, although he doesn't really want to interact with the group much. Living this life, this is fun. He's never had this. His entire existence, even as a kid, he's been at war. And now, he's actually having fun. And he knows he can't fight the Saiyans. They're too strong. Once they come here, in his eyes, Earth is doomed. He will keep training, just to grow stronger for himself, and to make sure that he's still in top shape. But he doesn't expect to win against the Saiyans, and he doesn't really want to fight alongside the humans and everybody. But he knows he has to. He's only going to do it out of necessity. And he promises to himself, after this, he's going to swear off fighting like this for good. No more war. He needs a new life. A lot of time passes. About a year later, Raditz is hanging in the bar one day. Somebody walks in. It's Krillin. Everyone in the bar turns to look at him. Laughing, this short guy just walked in. And for some reason, he's trying to look all intimidating. Krillin just simply ignores everyone as he walks past them, going towards Raditz. Everyone in the bar goes silent. What does he have to do with Raditz? He's gained the respect of everyone here, and Raditz turns over seeing Krillin. A couple of people try to stop Krillin from going up to him, but Krillin's able to easily fend them off, without even looking. No one's gonna try to pick a fight with him now. And Raditz stands up, smiling at Krillin, and Krillin's pretty amazed. Raditz looks completely different. Besides the getup and all, he has a beard now too. And Krillin didn't actually expect him to be here, but Raditz walks up to Krillin, downing the glass of his whiskey. So, it's that time already. Well, so be it then. Shenron is summoned and Goku is revived, although he still has to make a trip back down Snake Way. So he's gonna be a little late, but at least they do have Raditz on their side. Maybe that could help? He tells them though, after this, they're going their separate ways. It's like he told them before. He doesn't want to be in their life and fight alongside them. He just wants to enjoy his time here on Earth. And they're amazed to see this change. He still seems pretty cruel and cold, but he's not trying to murder them, so it is a plus. And he hasn't tried to do so over the past year. Yamcha thinks it's some sort of midlife crisis. Raditz tells him to shut up, they're around the same age. He's just found a new lease on life. That is, if he survives this. He's still doubtful about them defeating the Saiyans, but for some reason, everyone sees that he's still confident. Well, yeah, because Raditz is happy. This is where he settles everything, and this decides his future. He either dies here, or goes on to live another day. And Piccolo looks on, a bit embarrassed actually. They're facing a serious threat, and here Raditz is raving about biking and going to bars and such. Well, at least he's content. That means he really is on their side, even if it's only temporary. And they tell Raditz, Goku will be here soon. Wait, what? Kakarot, he's back? Yeah, they used the Dragon Balls to revive him, although it's gonna take a bit of time for him to get here. He can't believe it. He's gonna see Kakarot again? That's gonna be awkward. He's not really looking forward to it, but whatever. The same thing's about to happen with Vegeta and Nappa, who arrive not too long after. Their jaws drop. They must be seeing things. Raditz? And Raditz smirks, in the flesh. He's alive. They honestly thought that weakling died. So that means he fakes his death, and they see him standing alongside the rest of the others. But Raditz says he didn't betray them. They just threw him away. He did nothing wrong. He's just enjoying his time here on Earth. And even though before he was thinking that they would be defeated by the Saiyans, he obviously hides that, telling Vegeta and Nappa this is the start of their demise. So, Raditz the traitor is gonna kill them. They even see the scars on him, and his new getup. Vegeta and Nappa share a laugh. There's no way he's going to be able to do anything, even with this crew alongside him. Look at that, he's even battle-scarred from them. He couldn't handle these weak Earthlings and that Namekian. Same for that other Saiyan, Kakarot, his brother. He's gonna die a weak, low-class warrior just like Kakarot. Nothing is gonna change that. And RADITZ says he begs to differ. He assumes a battle stance, and this is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this part? Or what do you think is gonna happen next time? Leave any thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, be sure to drop a like if you want to see more videos like this. If we hit that like goal, it lets me know that you guys want to see this series continue into a full story. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in my next video.